You're listening to Oh Mother with your rock star mommy hosts, Real Mila, Chuck, and Miss Megan Lorraine. Tune in to Oh Mother, where we discuss the joys and pains of everyday mommy life. Subscribe now to Oh Mother for mommy tea, laughs, and a weekend exhale. So welcome to Oh Mother, the podcast, where we are going to talk joys and pains of everyday mommy life.
So I'm Mila, but I want you to meet my co-host that joined me on this journey. So first, in box number 2, we have Chuck in the building.
Hey guys.
Chuck, would you like to tell us about who you are as a mommy? Share with us.
Chuck. I am a one-time mom, hopefully to be a multiple-time mom in the future. But right now, I just have my son Kid. I had him during the pandemic, so that was challenging. He was conceived pre-COVID, so he's not a COVID baby, but he definitely was born during the pandemic. So that was the joys and the excitements, the traditions that you expect to experience having your first child or any child definitely didn't happen. Or we had to take super precautions to make sure that environments were safe for things to happen. But like I said, first time mom, I am loving it, wouldn't trade it for the world. Outside of being a mom, I am a 911 dispatcher slash virtual executive assistant extraordinaire, and I am killing the game. That's it.
That part, I love it. Okay. Next, in box number 3, we have Miss Megan Lorraine. Megan.
Hey, Mila, hey, Chuck. So, let's see, yes, everyone, this is Megan, Miss Megan Lorraine, and I am a mom of one as well. I have a 6-year-old. Her name is Jada, and she keeps me very, very, very busy. Actually, before even starting today, I had to go to Target and pick up a couple of these little toys that she likes, and I no telling what it's gonna look like when I get off this podcast. But she's out there enjoying herself. She just peeked in and said, "Mommy, can I have an Oreo?" I said, "Just go ahead, do what you got to do." But yep. So I am a single mom, but her father and I, we are great co-parents. Phenomenal co-parents in supporting each other and making this the best situation for our little girl. Besides that, I'm also in corporate space, so I am an executive director of diversity, equity, inclusion, and business partnerships for a firm based out of Indianapolis. And then on the side, I have my own LLC called Mega Strategies, where I am a brand and partnership, if you would say, strategist. In the sense, it's called Mega Strategies, and my current client is Fred Hammond. So that's what I do on the side.
That's what's up. Wow. Okay, so can I just say that? Okay, so someone brought us all together, and so I didn't really know much about either of you, but I knew he had to have had a great reason to do it. But that's phenomenal. I'm so glad you guys are here. Most of you know. I'm Mila. I have one son who we refer to as Shadow. Shadow is slumbering because he's a night owl and stays up all night long. So he'll probably have 0 interruptions from Shadow today. But yeah, I'm a single mom. And we co-parent, but in a different sort of way. I'm the primary, and yeah, that's what it's like. But I'm raising my son. My mother and I live together. And prior to that, I lived with my father to help him do some stuff. So I co-parent with my parents. It's interesting, but it's cool. We have a very unique situation, and I feel really blessed to have them and to work with them on this. But as a mama, yeah, I guess outside of being a mother, I'm a writer. We know that. Usually I am on the producing end of something like this, and I would never be like a main person ever. So yeah, this first episode, I just want you to understand what Oh Mother is all about. I came up with this concept because being a mother is rough. Having a mother is rough. And so, right? Ooh, there's nothing like the mother-daughter relationship. There's nothing like stepping into your own motherhood, you know? And I figured there were other moms out here that could talk about it and we could connect. And then the pandemic hit. And it became even more important to connect. You know, you're at home with these little people all the time. All the time. And so it's like, oh my gosh, like, how do I still find myself? How do I still, be Mila and not just, Shadow's mom all the time? And so finding that identity, I thought it would be a cool conversation to have. This first episode, what are we exploring? It's a year after the pandemic. And now what? Where are we? What are we doing? How do we feel? There's the vaccine, which, I was inoculated. I'm fully inoculated now. Thank you, Son. I'm fully inoculated. And that was a hard choice, I know, for most people to make that choice, what to do, sending your child back to school or not. I'll share a little bit more with where I stand on that as we go on. But Megan, how are you feeling a year afterwards?
Oh, I'm a little bit better because my daughter is back in school. And actually she went right on time. Well, so then there was a period where like all the kids were at home basically. And then like, so we got through the summer. So that was a little rough. But the thing is, what I appreciated about, the folks that I work with, especially because we do Zoom all day long, like you're zoomed out. And I would have to either jump off the Zoom because she was hungry, or schedule meetings around maybe when she would want lunch. And then you add when she was here with school, I literally tell them, like, sometimes I'd be on Zoom calls and I'd be in the background because my daughter is a little spoiled. She likes fresh cut French fries, so I would literally be cutting potatoes, getting them ready, letting them soak, then taking them out. And then she likes olive oil and pink Himalayan salt on them. So like, I'm like over here literally, making fries for her.
Okay, develop taste buds.
Right.
She's very picky. So it's like, I was even shocked that she was into those. So it's like, working around all of that and feeling like, I don't want my job feeling like, I don't want my clients feeling like, I can't do both. But the fact that they were able to adjust as well and give, understanding to the fact that you might have a little one who's going to pop in on a conference call and who's going to, and then they will also say, hey, Shada, how are you doing? And, talk to her and all those things. So like, that was an adjustment. And then I was concerned about even her studies because she's in kindergarten. And then she would have a little laptop. And she's now conformed. Like, I gave her my office at that time, and I would work out my family room. And she would say to me, she says, Mommy, can you mute yourself? Or like she would start talking the lingo back to me. And I was like, this is going to be very interesting years from now when they look at the kids who had to stay at home and how they are maybe preparing for the workforce and just how they are in general. So it was a huge adjustment. There were days where, I was by 3:00, I'd be exhausted because I'd be doing literally trying to teach, trying to cook, trying to be a phys ed teacher and try to still hold down my own work, later on. And I couldn't wait for her to go back to school. I'm glad she's back. And the fact that she's in a smaller setting where it's only 10 kindergartners in one classroom, that made me feel better. So in that way, like the whole social distancing and things like that. So if she was not in school, I don't know what I would do.
Right. Oh my gosh. And what about you, Chuck? Like, I know when I had my son, I was trying to do all this stuff. I did mommy and me yoga. I was doing all this stuff, but I know those things are, the classwork and doing that isn't probably popping during a pandemic, but.
So as far as so I found out I was pregnant in February. So we're still thinking everything's going to be normal. So of course, this, especially with my son being the first grandchild on my side, my son being the newest grandchild in 12 years on my husband's side, everybody was ecstatic. So everybody just started planning immediately. And then the pandemic hit and everything came to a screeching halt. It went from my husband being able to attend one doctor's appointment to not being able to attend any. Having to go by myself. Going through surgery on my knee because I completely detached my ACL and my meniscus. So having surgery during a pandemic while in my second trimester, adjusting to my body changing and my relationship with my husband changing, because now, we initially had the reprieve of going to work and getting the opportunity to miss each other. And then it was just like, I'm around you 24/7 and I want to kill you some days.
Real talk.
So it forced us to learn each other in a different way, not only as spouses but now preparing to be parents. The whole idea of a baby shower was it stopped existing because of the pandemic. You didn't want to compromise me because there wasn't enough information on on coronavirus and how it affected pregnant women. Like, it put me out of work for a year. So gratefully I was home, but it still put a monkey wrench in things. There were no visitors at the hospital. There were no mommy and me yoga classes. There was no Lamaze classes. I mean, I tried to do what I could online and via Zoom, but that's a bit challenging. Having my son, I imagined my mom always being in the room with me, with my husband. I had my mom on FaceTime, my mom and my sister on FaceTime, having him. So I'm just like pushing out a baby. I'm like, hey mom, how you doing?
Wow.
Trying to make sure, like, hey, can you see? Don't pull the camera any closer. Just, keep her where she's at. It was definitely challenging, but overall it lit an even bigger fire under my butt, to say the least. I'm a hustler at heart. I'm from the Bronx. I don't know how to do anything but hustle and make ends meet and make sure that if plan A fails, plan B, C, and D are gonna come through and flourish. But more than likely, plan A is not gonna fail. So, I started up a lactation cookie business to help with my lactation, knowing that I wanted to breastfeed. And it went from selling them as lactation cookies to just selling them as cookies, because the ingredients in them are ingredients that anybody can eat, and they are bomb, by the way. Oh, pies.
We gonna need those cookies, Chuck.
I was gonna say, I want one.
We gonna need those cookies.
Don't worry, I got y'all. I re-enrolled back in school for a dual degree program. Like,
oh my goodness.
I am literally, it's for some people, I had been detesting seeing, if you don't come out with a new business or a grind in this pandemic, then you've wasted time. No, everybody deals with everything differently. There's nothing normal about this pandemic. There's nothing normal about what we've been experiencing. The multiple deaths per day, per week, per month. It's insane. So don't judge. I just know for me, I became very, very depressed in my pregnancy, and I had to do something to get myself out of that. That's why these businesses and these ideas and these endeavors of school and things happen, to get myself out of a funk, because not only would affect me, but also affect my baby. And I know that you said addressing things that we experienced in our childhood. My mom advised that she was super depressed when she was pregnant with me. And that affected me in my childhood into my adulthood. So I made it my mission to not transfer that to him. Thanks, Jeff. So I made it my mission to not transfer that to him. So when I found myself um, depressed, sad, uh, feeling feelings that were inexplicable, I found something to do. I made sure that I had something to do. You guys, made sure that I had to do so that way I could keep my spirits lifted, not be overcome and overcome by the lack.
Hmm. Thank you so much. I just want you to know that we have a live audience in our comment box, right? So we can interact with them. You won't know what's happening, but yes, I guess you'll have to just download Bigo and come check us out on here if you want to participate in real time. But there is a live audience here. So just keep that in mind and we'll fix this. We'll figure it out as we figure it out. But yeah. But no, I definitely feel you. I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, I was returning from Europe. I went on this trip. I went on a vacation, but it turned out to be a bummer. But that's a whole nother episode. We'll get to that. Trust me, because we're gonna talk about dating in the pandemic. But that's how I started off the pandemic. Was on my way to Europe, and literally as I was there, everything was closing down, and I came home to just be like, what the heck? Like, what is happening? You know, lines at Trader Joe's. Like, what? Like, what? I was just dismayed. You know, toilet paper. And the interesting thing was to see the pandemic. Like, I was in London and there was plenty of toilet paper. There was plenty of water. You didn't even know there was a pandemic happening. You know what I mean? Like, in relation to when I got home. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, kid is at home. We're not going to work. What am I going to do every day? You know? And I already worked for myself at that point, and I wasn't really sure. And like you said, that whole little thing about like if you don't get on the ground, if you don't do something, then you're going to be left behind. And I felt that pressure at first. And I was still kind of like dog paddling my way through. A friend suggested I come on this app. I did. And I really found so much here from interaction, socialization, great networking, alliances, and then all my ideas started like boom, 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 like all the time, you know? And so now, like, I guess in March, I knew it was going to be long. I didn't quite know how that was going to all play out in our lives. My son's school starts back on the 21st, but we had an option. You could go to school, you could stay home. He wanted to stay home. And personally, I didn't want to have him go for 3 hours a day and go back and get him. That's not a break to me. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. So I was like, actually, we're just going to stay at home. Like I said, I'm fully vaccinated. My mom, my dad. Obviously, I would wait for a lot more information before I allow my child to be vaccinated. Yeah, I don't know that I would do that. But as an adult, in my situation, I am the backbone of my family unit. If I'm sick, nobody eats that day. Nobody takes a dog out. Nobody, like, nothing happens, So I couldn't afford to be sick. I didn't want to be sick or even have to try to figure that out. Because it's like, who's going to come in and take care of us? I'm the taker care of person, So that wasn't going to really work. I'm glad that I did it. I did feel relief. I did not get Johnson and Johnson, thank God. I wasn't gonna get that anyway, because that was on the back end way too fast as far as I'm concerned. What's up, KF? Oh, this is our friend from Russia. But yeah, so I just decided to go ahead and move forward with that, starting some different businesses. Obviously this podcast, but writing. I'm working on a cocktail book, and then I'm working on another, I would say it's autobiographical. It's my memoirs of my experience in this space. So I'm working on both of those. And I just think that a pandemic is a great time for rebirth, but it's also a great time as a parent to teach your child how to deal with adversity, how to face things that are scary. And it's sort of like sometimes I'm trying to deal with him on it and I'm dealing with myself. It's like, it's weird. It's like, I'm trying to tell him, like, hey, we got to get outside. We got to still stay active. We have to, because for my son, the pandemic was very depressing. He went from piano, track, after school programs, science club, all these things to nothing. And it's been hard to get him to, engage again and finding ways to do that. So I'm always on the hunt. I've done everything from those special little boxes. Have you seen those boxes? That people had those Tinkerbell. We did all those. I stopped the subscriptions though because I was like, no, this is more work for me, and I'm trying to do less work. But just finding that balance, and I guess looking forward, kind of what I'm thinking is like, as far as just this time to continue to roll with the flow, and not let it, down me, Thank you, Clyde. So I mean, I'm rolling with it. And I don't know, like I think that the 1918 flu was a 2-year, maybe 4-year epidemic, right? There was the marker of 2 years, but before that it was happening. So it's probably about 3 to 4 years. So, normalcy will probably be a good 3-year experience. The world is bigger, we're more connected. So yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm not afraid of what's coming, I guess I could say, but I look forward to continuing to persevere, even though we're in a pandemic. Let's see here. So, that game, ladies. Have you ever played that game? And to the comments. They ask you that question. They're like, if you were stranded on an island, who would you bring and what would you bring? You remember that game?
I do. That game gets people in trouble.
It does. It does. But the pandemic really was like that happening in real life, right? Like, you're stranded, you're in the house. What do you do?
I mean, our life almost became the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It really was like that. For real.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you both, what is in your survival pack? Like, now that you've gone through a year of pandemic, what is in your survival packs? Okay, food. Yes, one must eat.
Food. I make my own milk so I can live off of breast milk.
True.
I mean, if we're living a savage life, you have to make do. So, I mean, just squeeze it out and drink it. It's healthy. It has antibodies. It does what you need it to do. I mean, if it can help build his immune system, it can only help mine.
Right. Are you and your husband taking shots of it?
No, he gags at milk. Period.
Oh.
So it's a dub, and that is liquid gold. I'm not wasting that on him. Are you crazy?
That too.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. Just a little shot.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Let him go to a cow, a goat, an almond, and The liquid gold is for
this. But have you ever
here.
tasted your own milk?
Yes, it tastes like the nectar of the gods. Are you kidding?
Doesn't it? It's like listen, for anybody who's never tasted breast milk, let me tell you, it is mine. Oh,
I missed out, kid.
Yeah, you did. It is so good. It's like a cross between a cream and like and ice cream. It's like
sweetness to it.
Yeah, there's a sweetness to it, but it's a pure. Oh man.
Yeah.
You missed out on that.
So
Mm-mm-mm.
funny.
Yeah. Okay, so what else? I'm sorry, I
Um,
interrupted you. What else was going in there?
no. So we have food.
It does.
Um, I would actually be okay without my phone. Like if I'm just like stuck, I'd be okay. But I'd have to bring like something so I can watch the box set of Martin.
Okay.
That,
Okay.
that got me through the pandemic. Those are laughs that will continue no matter how many times you've seen an episode. You
True.
still the same way.
Yep.
Mm,
Yep.
I'd bring Kid because he's such a cool kid, such a cool little dude. Like, he does something new every day, and it keeps me entertained. Even when he's fussing, which isn't often. He only fusses when he's hungry. But like my survival kit would include food, Kid, and a Martin box set and something to watch that on.
Okay.
I can make
Okay.
clothes out of leaves or just be nude. I'm fine with that.
Right. Yes. Nudity is freedom,
Nudity.
people. It is. Okay, Megan, your turn. We taking.
Well, of course, I would take my little one too. Can't leave her behind. But as in like actual items, I'm gonna need some kind of hygiene products or something, to help with my cycle because that time when the time of the month hits, thank you. I just need something to help me. I can't just be walking around here just bleeding.
Wait, I forgot. I completely forgot about that because mine isn't back yet. I've gone a year without it.
Oh,
That's really smart. Yeah, while I was pregnant, and then
And
after
as long as you're breastfeeding.
Yeah, nursing.
I have not stopped nursing, but I know someone where it came back while nursing. So trash
Yeah.
bucket. I'm
So
sorry.
by the way, I got to those 2 years. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's like really, I guess, to me, like I would want, you know what I noticed during the pandemic? The struggle for me was because my hairstylist wasn't available, couldn't go get your hair done. Like all the things I would do, like to usually maintenance myself, couldn't go get waxed. So like that first wax was like, oh my God. She literally kept telling me, she was like, girl, if you don't stretch your legs out like that, I was like,
I can't.
I kept jumping. Ow! Ow! She's like, Megan, shut up. I was like, it's been like 3 months. What do you expect? Because well, that's a whole nother story. So maintenance of that. And then the girl who does my nails, though, I will say that she did come to my house and she at least helped me maintain my nails. Yes. So, if I don't know how I could take all of them with me, but if I could at least have things to really try to maintenance myself, then that would make me at least feel better because I just felt gross in that area. I mean, because especially pandemic, you get to know people, and in that case, everyone wants to FaceTime you. And when I don't have my hair braid like this, I actually have a very short, like Halle Berry, Toni Braxton haircut. So my hair was like growing out. So like I was like, buying off flat irons, Amazon all the time, trying to just, maintain myself. And I must have did pretty okay because people will call me like, so you still getting your hair done? Like, who's doing your hair? I'm like, no, it's me. But that was tough because I don't like doing stuff like that. Now I want someone to do it for me.
Oh, I agree. Especially the kitty care. I ain't doing that myself. I'm not going to do that myself.
No.
Now, I do get sugared.
Okay.
As opposed to waxing, it's not as bad, but after 3 months, it all hurts. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I was getting 1976 realness down there. It was what it was.
Not 1976.
Listen.
No, it was. I told
Shag rugs were in.
I said I was looking like real 1970 something too.
Yeah,
I think we all were. Can we get an amen? I think everybody.
Absolutely. I've never gotten sugared. We got to talk about that.
Okay, yeah, because it really doesn't hurt as bad.
Okay, but like just not having somebody, not being able to do my norm. I figured out how to do my nails and feet my feet as best as I could because I had a whole gut full of human.
Right.
But like nails, my hair, I used to work at Dry Bar. So I learned how to blow it out and flat iron. And if not, I was rocking some doodle braids and calling it a day, because who was I trying to impress in the pandemic?
Mm-hmm. I learned how to braid hair and add extensions to my hair in the pandemic.
Oh.
I did. I got tired of looking at my. I also have. Well, I have short hair on the sides and in the back. I know it doesn't look like that right now, Bigo, but be quiet. The point is, that's what it is. So, and I wasn't getting cut, so I went out and I got clippers. Sometimes it didn't go too well, which is where the braids coming down over that really helped. But yeah, I learned how to do it myself. But as soon as that was over, I was like, please, somebody help me. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they were open. Gosh, what would I take on the island? Obviously, Shadow's coming with me because he's not going to be left behind. He wouldn't even let me leave him behind, so he'll be there. Are you down there gambling? Okay. You down there gambling. That's what you're doing. But I'm here for it.
I don't know what's happening. So we're doing this, and I'm also trying to interact. Like, so while you're talking, I'm listening and trying to interact with the people that are commenting.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So you drew pumpkins. Pumpkins are worth something. So you doing good. But yeah, I take Shadow. I would take. I want to have seasonings. I feel like we could find some food there on this desert island, but I need seasoning. I need to have my own seasoning. That's going to make it much better. If I could taste some flavor, it might not matter to me that we're eating leaves, Mm-hmm. So I would have that. What else would I want to have? I would say I need a pen and some paper. I would need pen and paper. Absolutely. Hey, Silo. Oh, we're doing a podcast right now, but afterwards we'll chat. But yeah, so that would be what I would take. Because I think if I'm stranded on a desert island, I need to write a book about being stranded on the desert. Turn it into some money some kind of way, or not just some money, but some release. So I would definitely be writing on the island. All right, so we are almost at our time. And I guess moving forward, we're going to have all sorts of topics. Anyone who is still here in the comments in our section, if you could just let us know some of what you want to know about us or about our mother experiences or topics that you want to explore. I do know we will be talking our next episode about not so distant socializing, aka dating in a pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I think that even Chuck, with hubby, you guys still got to be dating. Mm-hmm. You guys still have to, you know what I mean? Because if you don't do that, y'all ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying? So I think that it's a subject for everyone. Mm-hmm. Getting out there, meeting people, going places. How do we begin to do that? And I shared with Megan, we did this on another thing, an audio once. So when you live with mom and you have Shadow, dating is real interesting because you're dating us automatically. And so that's like my world. And it's fun, but it's interesting. Just last night he came up to tell me, Mom, you really can't online date because you don't know who these people are going to be. And I was in the middle of doing something. I'm like, what? He was like, it's okay. Granny and I will talk to you later. I'm like, are you guys having a conference about this? Yeah. So apparently we got to talk about me if I'm going to online date, what I need to be looking out for, because they've talked about it apparently. So they're gonna bring me up to speed. I'm like, okay, child. But yeah, so we're gonna talk some things. Jazzy, do you have any questions? Isn't that hilarious, Hire? Oh my goodness. Okay, and I also just want to say thank you to my co-host. Samir isn't here, but thank you to him. Thank you to Hire, Glide, Jazzy, and Lyric for all of the gifts and all of the love. Thank you to Anthony, who has said very little because he is capturing all of this for us and doing his thing. So thank you. And to Nissan, OMG. Thank you for this. Thank you for pushing me to do something that I'm really uncomfortable with, but I'm really getting excited. Because I didn't know that Megan was a brander. Oh my gosh. And then I got a hustler down here too. Woo! We about to get it, y'all. This is going to be fun. I'm excited about this. Yeah, so I guess that's episode 1 and done. And we're going to do more and more. So say something. Thank you, Hire. Oh, Hire, you know I love you.
Thank you, Hire.
Hire is amazing. He is like some of the best support. First of all, everybody who's up there, BBW, Hire, Lady Jazzy. Let me just see who else is in here. Okay, so BBW, Jazzy, and Glide, we're all in the same group. You just joined the group. Hire needs to join the group. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. That'll be awesome when you do, because you know you belong in the Trap family. And don't be looking like that. You know we love you. Hire belongs in the Trap family, the Trap Stars. You belong there. So they call me Marie. It's a nickname that they gave me, and I love it. It has nothing to do with my name whatsoever, but I love it. It's awesome. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for coming and for being so supportive. And when we do this again, I need the memo about the shirts that we're gonna, because y'all, they popped up.
It wasn't planned.
It definitely was not planned. It's funny though.
It was
hilarious.
No, seriously, it was 12:57, and I was like, I need a clean shirt. And it was the easiest thing to throw on. I promise.
So when you popped up, I was like, oh, you look so cute. And then Megan came and I was like, well, wait a minute. The whole thing. Dang. Hang on, let me get my whole thing on. But yeah. Okay, we'll do it next time. And ladies, I'm going to send you some cool collaterals that you can begin to use once I get with Anthony on making sure I'm telling you all the right information.
Awesome.
I don't want to lie to you. But yeah, that concludes our show. Kid is chilling. Kid said it's a wrap. Kid said y'all done talking to my mama.
Nah, he's interacting with little baby bum right now. That's his. He's I told you he's like a super advanced Mighty Morphin Power Ranger kid. He's different generation, so I'm just letting him rock out.
Okay, I love it, and I see the little pretty sneak into the camera. She's gorgeous.
She been trying for a while, and
that's hilarious. That's too funny.
Smooth with it. Don't worry. Well, Shadow, maybe next time I have to. He ain't gonna ever be around if we stick to this time, because he's like,
we gotta do our podcast at night.
Oh, then he would be live and he would join in and talk with us. Like, well, I think. Yeah, he would join in.